So all the way from the West Coast, we have Lauren, the winner of the swim race.
Oh yeah, that was something. Omar stopped in the middle of the pool.
I heard that. He was like sucking in water or something.
Yeah, the guy just needs to learn how to breathe.
Well, good morning, everyone who joined us. We have a guest of honor today. Everyone knows Lauren, I'm sure.
How's it going, guys?
I told you, Lauren, I haven't been feeling well. My longtime Murdoch crew knows I have lupus. So sometimes I just got to chill for a few days and just like stay off screens and just rest a little bit. So that's where I was. So what was that?
So I hope you're feeling better.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, just like in that flare, just like no energy, no strength, nothing but pain. So, yeah. But better than
that sounds pretty much terrible. So I'm sorry.
It is. Yeah. I wasn't made right at all. So I had no idea what was going on. I'm like, every time I feel not up to checking or I've got like a really busy week, that's when like all the crazy stuff gets filed and there's always like 10 things.
Yeah. Of course.
Yeah. So, but never in my wildest dreams did I expect this one.
Yeah.
I saw it and I'm like, what is even happening? Like what's going on?
Yeah. It feels pretty icky to me. Like,
it's so icky.
The only word I got. I don't have any better word for it. It's just icky.
It's so very icky. And today's focus is on the first two filings. So yeah, I've got her story, and then the second one is from like all the legit women's advocacy foundations that I think are just doing amazing stuff. And I started that approach. I started looking up like it's all about this 47.1, the dreaded 47.1. So I've actually, for part 2, I've actually got like the birth of it and like the people who fought for it. It's amazing people, and there's an amazing feeling and reason behind it. And to see it besmirched by Blake's name is so upsetting to me.
That's a good word.
Yeah, it's besmirched. I'm like, you guys really, really want this to be your first case? And the thing is, to me, what I'm thinking is like, no one has used this yet. This was signed by Governor Newsom on October 10th of 2023, and it went into effect in January of 2024. But as of yet, it's not been used on any case.
Gotcha.
So there's no precedent. There's no anything about how to use this law. So for the women who fought so hard to get this bill passed as a rule, I'm sure they're like, oh, it's finally going to get used. And I'm sure they're like, oh, good, it's such a big public case.
Right.
So I think their feeling behind it is good. It's just like, ladies,
pick your battles. This is not it. This is not it. Behind. And I'm surprised that people who, who know how important it is to have those kinds of protections in place would be so careless with who they're backing.
Exactly.
To be honest, it's kind of embarrassing.
It is embarrassing, and like I said, they're besmirching. They're gonna have their rule like done away with after this first case. I don't know. Oh, Leanne's here. Hey, yeah. Leanne. I know you have to go at a certain time, and it's kind of amazing. She's even joining us. She's got a coast-to-coast flight tonight.
Oh, yeah, that's not till like 11 p.m.
It's okay. But still, it's like stressful the day you got to fly and all that. And then you've got a work meeting. So I need to just quit yakking and just like jump right into it.
We got like an hour, so we're good.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. An amicus brief. Let's start with that. Some people say amicus, some say amicus. So what is this brief, first of all? It comes from Latin. Amicus curiae is how you say it in Latin, and it means friend of the court. What it is, it's someone who is an expert in something. They're not brought in, they're not supposed to be brought in by either party. They cannot be being paid by either party, but they have an expertise. Yeah. They have an expertise that they want to offer the court. So they do this voluntarily. So we can understand why that second filing was done, because like we just talked about, these women advocacy groups that fought so hard to get this rule passed. And so, we get that. Now, it doesn't mean that that the judge is going to look into it or not. It's just there, and he can look into it or not look into it. I think in this case he might, just because, as I said, this rule has never been applied. So he would probably appreciate the insight from those women about like what this all is, because it's not a New York rule. It's only in California. So he's probably not super familiar with it. And so he might appreciate that, but it's not what the headlines are making it out to be. It's just there. I'm not explaining this.
If he doesn't want to, like, if he didn't look into it, what would happen? It would just sit there. Like,
it would just sit there.
Oh,
it would just sit there, and we, unless he mentions it, we won't know if he read these things or not.
What's to say like people don't just file these for headlines?
Oh, they could. They could, and yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you for confirming my suspicions.
Yeah, so technically no one is supposed to have asked them to do this. I did see a line in one of them that Blake, I can't remember how it worded it, so I don't want to say it incorrectly, but it feels like she approved of it.
Think about Taylor's and her friendship or something?
Who knows?
Oh my God, so silly. All right.
Yeah, this was the important thing. We kind of already said this, but I just wish that the first application of this rule could have been bestowed on the type of person and the type of case that they actually had in mind when they authored it. I've already watched like their whole fight before the Senate and all the hearings and stuff that they did to get this passed. I just feel like they deserved a better victim for their first application of this. All right, so
definitely. I mean, that's so sad.
It is, because what it's meant to do is, like, say a person experiences either SA or SH at work. They go file a complaint, unlike Blake. And yeah, so they legit go file a complaint. They lose their job or get forced out of their job just because they can't deal with it anymore. They get like truly retaliated against. There's one of the women who was fighting the case. She had this happen at work, her and several other women. And the owner of the company, or their boss, was wealthy. He was powerful. So he slaps them with a defamation lawsuit. It's so expensive to fight it. It's so difficult. You get dragged through the mud. You lose heart. You don't have the money to fight it. So you just give up.
That's
and
a horror story. I mean,
it is.
Yeah, I'm definitely, because like I said this yesterday, I'm trying to make it clear, like, I'm not trying to downplay that. Like, that's a horror story, but that's not what this is.
Yeah, that's not what this is. Yeah. And so this was put in place to stop that from happening, like to help these women. They don't have the means to fight it. They were truly targeted. They were, it's a beautiful thing. But what we're going to get into is this first one. Okay, Elise Dorsey. So, are you up to doing some reading? Because what I was thinking, and what I told you is, I've already read it all, so I know how it ends, but you don't. So I want to, like, first have you read it, and then like give your initial take.
Sorry, go ahead.
Just like your initial take or reaction from what you read. Is that okay?
Yeah. So this part of it, I've read this part, but. Sorry, I thought you meant like her. I thought you meant like her case or something.
Okay, yeah, we are going to get to that. We are going to get to that.
Okay, so that's what I haven't seen. But this part I have read. What did you need me to do here?
Okay, could you just like read it and then say what your first thoughts were as you read this?
Okay. Elise Dorsey is an attorney and a survivor of sexual harassment and abuses of power who now advocates for stronger statutory protections for survivors and for stronger legal remedies for people subject to retaliatory lawsuits. My initial thought there was, well, first of all, you're assuming this man's guilt. And second, you're conflating your alleged horrible experience, which I don't know really anything about her case other than what she wrote here. You're conflating that with the story of someone who is upset and says she was harassed because a man like came into her trailer while she was breastfeeding after she invited him to do so, and said that he said she smelled good, and we all saw that's not what happened. So like, how are you actually conflating these two things?
Right.
Let's see. Miss Dorsey herself was subjected to a retaliatory defamation lawsuit in Virginia after reporting her sexual harassment to the university where it happened, and later sharing her experience with the public through the media. I feel like I may have actually heard her name some time ago. Maybe that's why I recognize that in her name. Okay, so she has experience with the media and all that, I guess, but like at the same time, we have a much different issue with the media being brought into this one. Both sides are kind of saying it's being used as a weapon, and I don't really know if that was the case in her story. So
yeah, so we had like the same take. My heart went out to her. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Her heart is in the right place. Poor her.
Yeah.
And I was like, also poor her for thinking that Blake's case was anything like her legitimate case. And then I'm thinking, she's an attorney and she struggled with this even. I'm like,
right.
This is just, and I'm like, the whole time I'm just like feeling bad for her for thinking that Blake's case is like her. Darian, thank you so much. Just wanted to send some love to you wonderful ladies and to personally express that your hard work does not go unappreciated. Oh, thank you. As YouTube becomes increasingly vacuous, YouTube bring true value. Thank you, Darian. That's very, very sweet.
Appreciate you
so much. Right.
I also thought when I first read this, and this was before I did my stream yesterday, because I skimmed over this yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because I got too angry to read the whole thing. I was like, I can't.
Right.
So I also thought, oh, good. Here's another thing that's going to make me feel kind of bad for wanting to say like, hey, what this lady's doing is wrong, because I'm reading all this, sad story about what happened to her. And I'm like, so it feels bad to then be like, well, what you're doing is not okay. I don't like what you're doing. And this is kind of gross, because it's like, I'm not, and you don't inherently just like want to attack, or not even attack, but just like kind of
dismiss,
clash with people who have gone through these horrible things, and like you want to relate to them on some level. So it feels so bad to then like have to say like, I'm sorry, but what you're saying, this doesn't even make sense in this context, and it kind of feels like you're doing this for the wrong reasons. So it just makes me feel, I don't know, kind of terrible.
Like you said, icky.
Yeah.
there's a really strong ick factor.
Right. So I feel like I almost feel like that's by design though. So.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm getting alerts here on my
you're good.
computer. Okay. So this one, I'm worried about time, and I want you to be able to be here for the whole like reveal of her story. So
I got you.
Yeah. This one we're just going to go ahead and skip. This just about her, supporting stronger anti-SLAPP protections. And then it kind of talks about, she cites a bunch of cases to support the court accepting her brief. So that's not super important. I got everything going off all at once. Sorry. All right. Yeah, we're gonna skip that just because I want you to get to the heart of the story. So it's a little bit more of her background. She's an advocate for survivors, and just to hear the word survivor used in terms of Blake was like, come on.
Somebody said it yesterday really well, and I can't remember where I saw this comment. It said Blake is an accuser. She's not. Yes. At this stage, she's not like a survivor of anything.
Exactly.
Except the fake shark attack.
There you go. Yeah, and I think and at this point I'm like, how does this like actual victim not see through it? Because I think most of us, so many more of us than not are actual victims of pretty bad stuff, and to see some, I think that's what helped us to see through hers. I mean, not that we compare scars, but it's kind of like, are you kidding? This is what you think?
It's hard not to do that. And then that's another thing that like, and it's kind of like lots of these touchy topics, like with serious mental health issues or with sexual assault and harassment and stuff like that, people who have nefarious intentions, they will use these points because they know you're not supposed to question them. So,
Exactly.
but you can't really help but kind of, I feel like everybody kind of maybe even subconsciously has to like kind of compare what they've been through to this and be like,
Right.
well, that's not what you're saying it is. But nobody wants to come out and say that because you don't want to be the terrible person who gets it wrong, you know?
They already call us misogynists because we didn't just, we don't just like take her word as law because she's a woman. And yeah, it's exactly that. And you could see that in the process of this bill being passed. Only one man was brave enough to put any question forth at all, but like everybody else, because it was like right on the heels of the Me Too thing, and nobody wanted to say anything. Like there wasn't even like discussion. Only one guy had like something smart to say about it. But because people are scared to say too much and then get label they don't deserve. It's just like common sense. Okay, so the summary of her argument, we can kind of skip this too. It's just she keeps talking about her experience, what it did to her, and how it's troubling and it happens all the time.
And really, I feel bad for saying this, but this really feels a lot like me. You know what I mean? I'm like, why are you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Why are you doing this on this docket? Yeah. This feels like the improper forum for this. But
yeah, okay. It's like she wanted a bigger place to tell her story.
It does kind of seem that way, and I feel like feel terrible saying that, but I gotta say, like that is honestly how I feel about that.
Yeah. Well, we're being honest today. So I got to this. Then I got really mad, because I'm like, I got mad at him. I'm like, are you serious? He's slaps this lawsuit on her for $108 million. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, how do you do that to somebody that you've victimized? I'm feeling at this point pretty bad for her. And this footnote, again, like no party's counsel authored this brief. No party or any other person contributed money intended to fund preparing or submitting this brief. So they have to say this,
good. I believe it. I totally believe that. I totally believe
it. Okay. This is where I got a little bit of a spidey sense, but at this point I was really mad. Like after I saw that he slapped her with this $108 million. Was that 108 million?
Yeah, 108 million.
Yeah, that's like, that's outrageous. So at this point, like I'm seeing red, like for her, because I'm trying to, I didn't have any reason to doubt her at that point.
Should have highlighted those parts in red.
I should have.
This means mad.
This means mad. So this is where I first like hesitated though, because it said the university conducted an investigation lasting approximately 20 months and found multiple causes for termination. Does that sentence like make you feel weird for a second?
Yes.
Like what did it make you think?
Well, okay. Why did it? Well, I don't know how these investigations normally work, but why did it take 20 months? And if there were multiple causes for termination, why wasn't he terminated earlier? I guess.
Yeah. So I was mad. Still, I was like enraged with him at this point. But I also am thinking, it doesn't say anything about they found reasons to support her claim.
Oh yeah, no.
It said causes for termination. So I was a little bit, but you know what? I was so mad at him. I'm like,
what does that mean? Was he doing cocaine on his desk or did he sexually assault someone? I'm confused.
Yeah. So I'm like, that it's strange wording. Okay. I would want to say, the school found, I was telling the truth, something like that. So that was my first, like at this point, my first feeling of like, something's not quite right here, but maybe I'm just reading more into these words than what they're meant to say. So then, okay, he admits in private text messages to his friends that he filed the litigation to bankrupt his accusers, not with any expectation of winning his defamation claims. He wrote maybe defamation for fun, but not to win.
Who writes that down? Who writes that down?
Right? That's crazy. He explicitly stated that he wanted to bankrupt Miss Dorsey and the other defendant as punishment for speaking out. So let's not misunderstand. This guy is pond scum. He's
Pond
the worst.
scum. Nice.
Pond scum. Yeah. Or what's that line from My Best Friend's Wedding?
Oh, I don't know, but pond scum is this attorney in this other case that I cover, the fake pregnancy case. He called us all pond scum. So that's what I thought of.
I
We're getting a little
didn't know about that one. Okay. So, yeah, make no mistake, this guy is absolute trash. He deserves everything that happened to him. He's not a good guy. He's not a defendable guy. He is not Justin. He is awful. Okay. So, and like you said, like, who puts the stuff in words, right?
A very smart professor if he's writing things to people like, maybe I'll sue her for fun, but not for women.
Right. So yeah, like at this point I was full on enraged, like blood pressure was rising. And so when I get to that, of course, I've got to know the story now.
Mm-hmm.
So I leave this document and I'm like, let me find this story. So she tells her story. She goes straight to the media, like Blake, and she goes to this Law 360. Now, this is behind a paywall, but this is where a lot of legal professionals go, subscribe, they read. So you put this on here and it's within the legal community, it's going to be seen. So can you see that clear enough? This is her story.
I can see it's a little small, but I can see.
You can see? Okay. All right. Let me know if you have trouble seeing to read. I see some people in the comments, they know the story. So don't give away the ending, guys. Okay. Yeah, don't give away. I'm gonna delete just because I don't want people to see. I want the story to. Sorry, that's one of my favorites. Yeah, don't give away the ending, you guys. Those of you who know it, we're gonna let Lauren get to this.
Okay. Let's see. 2 women lawyers have told Law 360 that former Federal Trade Commission member and George Mason University law professor Joshua D. Wright abused his power in order to engage them in sexual contact, saying the alleged misconduct began while they were his students and later continued when they were his subordinates at the FTC and at a big law firm. Kirkland and Ellis LLP partner Elise Dorsey and Freshfields Brookhouse. How do you say that? Brookhouse? Derringer?
Brookhouse, I guess. Yeah.
Other law firm counsel Angela Landry said they met each other in 2009 as first-year students at George Mason University's Antonin Scalia Law School in a year-long contract law class taught by Wright. Okay. Both women said that soon after they arrived at the school and started taking the class, Wright began to press the usual boundaries between a professor and student in one-on-one conversations with them. Both also said those boundary-pushing comments quickly turned to flirting and eventually to sexual advances. The women said those early advances led to years of misconduct, during which Dorsey and Landry felt they had no option but to continue engaging sexually with Wright or else risk serious damage to their careers. Both said they believe there are many more women who have been similarly approached by Wright based on conversations with former schoolmates and colleagues, as well as and then moves on to the next page. Okay. Conversation between Landry and Wright himself. Both women said their fears that their careers... Oh, that rhymed. Sorry. Fears that their careers were at risk. It's not a funny sentence, but it's, my brain. All right. Both women said their fears that their careers were at risk later proved to be valid. After they ended their respective sexual relationships with Wright, both said they were cut off from professional opportunities and even jobs as a result of Wright withdrawing his support of them in their careers. Okay. Dorsey and Landry only recently reconnected after a mutual friend from law school suggested they may have similar stories related to their experiences with Wright. I suffered silently for a really long time, Landry told Law 360 in a video call, pausing for a moment as emotion welled in her voice. I love when people describe stuff like that. It's like Rita Skeeter wrote this. I was ready to accept suffering silently alone for the rest of my career, but I can't just sit back and let it continue. After discovering others have also been affected by the alleged misconduct, she added. Wright, who had been a law professor at GMU for 2 decades, announced August 7th that he was leaving the school's faculty via a post on X, the social media platform formerly known as Twitter. Later that same day, Cleveland State University College of Law professor Krista Laser publicly posted an email she says Wright sent her in 2021 in which he asked her out on a date after she met with him to discuss faculty job opportunities at GMU. Laser's post to X has garnered more than 371,000 views and numerous comments. On August 9th, legal blog Above the Law featured the post in an article. According to a spokesperson for GMU's law school, Wright is no longer a member of the school's faculty. His departure is a personnel matter, and the university and law school do not comment on personnel matters. Of course, boring. Legal counsel for Wright, Lindsay R. McCassin of Benally Law Group, shared an emailed statement with Law 360 on Friday in response to Dorsey's and Landry's allegations. All allegations of sexual misconduct are false, the statement said. These false allegations are being made public after unsuccessfully demanding millions of dollars behind closed doors. What? We look forward to total vindication in court. Oh my gosh. Okay.
If you need a break, I could take over. Just let me know.
Yeah, because I gotta drink some water, man.
Okay. Yeah, it's kind of a long article. Okay. Dorsey said she was excited when Wright asked her to be one of his research assistants at the end of her first year as a law student in 2010. She had been interested in antitrust law, and he made it clear that he would be a good reference if she wanted to pursue that area of law as a career, she said. Despite a string of flirtatious comments, Dorsey said, she generally thought Wright was harmless at the time and felt reassured by the fact that he was married and had small children. When he asked her to join him on a trip to meet clients in California, she said she agreed to attend. They stay at a nice hotel, and when they arrived, she discovered there was only one room with one bed, Dorsey said. There weren't any client meetings during the trip, she said, and instead they went wine tasting. The morning they were the morning they were supposed to leave, no sexual contact had occurred, she said, but as they sat on the hotel's bed running late to catch their flight, Wright asked if he could touch her. I didn't say no, but I also didn't feel like I had a choice to do that in the moment, Dorsey said. That led to the beginning of her sexual contact with Wright, she said. Let's see. According to Dorsey, she never felt comfortable saying no to Wright, including when she said he pressured her to have sex in his office on the law school's campus. She resisted but gave in to get out of the situation. She said Dorsey was Wright's research assistant at the time and therefore her direct manager.
Yeah, he was very appropriate at all. But
no. He was very clear that, he's, like I said, pond scum. He was very clear this had to be a secret. This was something we couldn't talk about, that no one was supposed to know. However, she did tell a close friend at the time about her sexual contact with Wright and the trip they took to California. Law 360 recently spoke to that friend, and the person confirmed that Dorsey told them about it at the time. The sexual contact continued throughout Dorsey's law school years, she said. Expecting to graduate in 2012 into a tough job market, she knew that she would need Wright's positive reference. I'm sorry, I've never had that view one time in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone said I feel like definitely. Do you want to take this one, or you?
Sure.
Okay.
Dorsey ultimately took a job as an associate at a prestigious law firm. Oh, I do not know how to say that either. Wilson's son.
Just skip it.
Yeah, other people. And in 2013, Wright was nominated to be a commissioner at the FTC. Their sexual contact faded at that point. However, when Wright left the FTC in 2015 and joined Wilson as senior of counsel, he again became her direct manager, and the sexual contact resumed. Oh, yikes. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
A former colleague of Dorsey's at Wilson told Law 360 that Dorsey confided in them when they worked together that she had been in a sexual relationship with Wright and that it started when she was a student at GMU. In an email to Law 360, a spokesperson for Wilson said they are not able to comment on internal personnel matters, but confirmed that Wright had been senior of counsel at the firm from January 2016 until November 2019. Between 2018 and 2021, Dorsey took on a role as an instructor at GMU's law school in the antitrust department, and in 2019, she left Wilson to work for the U.S. Department of Justice. In early 2021, she said, Wright reached out to her to recruit her to work for him as he planned to launch his own law firm, Lodestar Law and Economics PLLC. According to Dorsey, Wright told her that she could work as much or as little as she wanted. so that she had time to pursue a fellowship in the economics department at UVA. Dorsey had been interested in returning to private practice in legal academia. That, along with a competitive pay offer, prompted her to turn down other job opportunities at the time and take Wright up on the offer. That was not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Over the summer of 2021, Dorsey moved from Washington, D.C. to Charlottesville, Virginia. There, she said, she began to work for Wright on a contract basis, and Wright began to help her with a fundraising effort for her fellowship. However, after Dorsey confronted Wright, saying she believed he was engaged in a sexual relationship with another former GMU student of his, and that he had lied about it, and that Dorsey wanted to end things with him romantically, all of those plans began to unravel. The contract work disappeared, the fellowship funding was delayed, and even the work at GMU ended abruptly and without notice. Near the end of 2021, Dorsey filed a complaint against Wright with GMU, which includes allegations of Title IX violations, including hostile environment and quid pro quo sexual harassment, as well as violations of university policies regarding consensual sexual relationships. Those investigations are ongoing, she said. The allegations in the university complaint, reviewed by Law 360, align with Dorsey's conversations with a Law 360 reporter. In a statement provided to Law 360, a spokesperson for GMU's law school did not address the investigation. Just once, I would love for one of these representatives to be messy and just tell me the story. In GMU's consensual relationships policy, which is posted on the university's website, employees with professional power relationships over students are advised to avoid sexual relationships with students and, in the event of a relationship, to report it immediately to their supervisor and end any supervisory or instructional responsibility over that student. Sexual romantic, wow, what was that word? Sexual romantic relationships between employees and students have the effect of undermining the atmosphere of trust on which the educational process depends. Positions of authority inherently carry the elements of power in their relationships with students. It is imperative that those in authority neither abuse nor appear to abuse this power entrusted to them. Law 360 contacted the Media Relations Department at GMU Law School to inquire whether the same consensual relationships policy was in place when Dorsey attended the law school and was referred to the school's DEI department. A phone call to the DEI department was not immediately returned. Let's see. I don't want other people to have to deal with and go through what I went through, Dorsey told Law 360 about why she chose to file the complaints and speak publicly about her allegations. Well, then go fight for somebody who's in your situation.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
It really made me feel like if he was willing to treat me that way, it must be much worse for others who tried to say no to him with even less power.
Okay. So, feelings, thoughts?
I mean, he sounds like a scummy dude, but at the same time, this is just even more so now. I feel like this has absolutely nothing to do with the situation at hand. And so I don't know why she's inserting herself into this situation that we're
yeah.
I mean, yeah, that sucks, but she could do a lot of good for a lot of people, but Blake Lively isn't one of them because she's a liar. So
yeah, I'm gonna highlight a couple of sentences here. You know, this is how I'm feeling at the time when I'm reading this too. And then this one, much like Blake's New York Times article, I'm not hearing something that sounds like a clear description of abuse alleged in this article. So even this is her story, and there's another person in this lawsuit with her. Her name is Angela Landry, and we're not going to cover her story because I don't think I saw her name on any of this. So she hasn't inserted herself into Blake's. But I forgot what I was saying because I can't look at comments, guys.
Well, it sounds like because I'm seeing a lot of these comments on the side too. It sounds like they had a pretty clear arrangement where he was giving her some material benefits as long as they were in a relationship. So
right, and that's what this quid pro quo sexual harassment is. It's sexual favors for promotions at work or this kind of thing. So that's wrong.
And the kind of the power dynamics of the student professor thing, especially when you feel like you can't say no to somebody, but then if that person is no longer in charge of you, don't follow them to another place and then work out for years, some arrangement with them privately to you better I guess kind of give him what he wants privately so he pays for your fellowship and all that stuff. That's kind of that's a whole different scenario we're talking about.
Yeah. So, of course I read this, I'm like, okay, I need more. So the Wall Street Journal, so after this story comes out, it starts getting picked up by a lot of other news agencies. Wall Street Journal does this three-part series. Like this is the artwork from the three that they do. They just realize him, and I'm all for that. He's horrible. Okay. what am I seeing here?
Holy crap. Wait, hold on, I got this. Oh boy, is a piece of knuckle dragging inbred swamp shit. But Dorsey chick was enjoying the benefits of being the side piece until he changed his focus to another side piece.
that little icon is like the perfect. That is the perfect face for that comment.
Knuckle dragging inbred swamp shit.
Okay. Thank you. There's a big difference between feel like you can't say no and you actually attempt to say no and are threatened or forced. Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
All right. Thank you so much, Equal Rights Advocate Partnership Lively Charity Alleged. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Gotcha.
All right.
I saw somebody tweeted about that, how like the ERA, who did the other, one of the organizations who did the other brief yesterday, I guess has ties to her charity.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know any more than that, but I did see that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that yet. Yeah, I was watching the Senate videos and all kinds of stuff yesterday, so it's like only so much I could take in, and I tried to just like keep it all real direct. So he does a countersuit. This is his $108 million defamation suit. So there's a lot of reading again. Are you up to reading some more? Do you want me to take this first one?
Yeah, you take the first one, and then I'll switch in.
Okay. So defendants Elise Dorsey and Angela Landry both scorned former lovers. And okay, sorry, I'm just going to read. He makes me sick, like the stuff he says too,
No, this guy sucks.
He totally sucks. Don't anybody think I have an ounce of pity for this man. I do not. Let's be clear. And law students of plaintiff Joshua Wright have embarked on a vendetta to destroy his reputation, portray themselves as Me Too victims, and make a fortune in the process. Their malicious lies have caused enormous damage. First, they targeted his employers and his clients and threatened further reputational destruction if he did not pay them several $million. When he refused, they went to the press, claiming in a Law 360 article that they submitted to romantic partnership with Mr. Wright because they felt pressured and fearful of retaliation and portrayed him as a sexual predator. In well-documented reality, however, and I get excited when I see well-documented, I'm like, what are we going to do? Defendants both pursued Mr. Wright at various times over the last decade. They had consensual adult relationships with him, and when those relationships ended, both were heartbroken because they had strong feelings for him. Defendants have been devastatingly effective in their coordinated campaign to destroy Mr. Wright's reputation. Mr. Wright, you destroyed your own reputation. You played with fire. It's FAFO. Right. He files this lawsuit to hold them accountable for their lies. In support of his complaint, Mr. Wright states as follows. So, you guys distracted me with your wit. A university professor using the ability to offer benefits to students to turn his classes into a harem is wild. These women would have faced different reception if they had reported promptly. Exactly.
Yeah.
You guys report this stuff. Report this stuff. Okay. Yeah, and this power imbalance, sure, but also consenting adults here. This frames women like we have autonomy. See, that's the thing. Like by the time you're in law school, you're not a child.
Right.
You're full grown. Your brain is done. I know you don't get your full brain capacity until you're like around the age of 25. We're talking about law school and after. So yeah, those were the issues I started to have as I'm reading through this. Okay. While teaching at GMU, Mr. Wright met defendant Dorsey. Eventually, they began a romantic relationship. Both were married at the time and were aware of each other's marital status. So at this point, I was like, Miss Dorsey, I hate me a cheater. I hate me a cheater. Yeah. And this is the double cheater. She's hurting her own spouse. I didn't realize at first that she was married herself at this point. Right. So she's hurting her own spouse and an innocent woman. So this is where I was like, okay, that's it, Miss Thing. I don't like you. I don't like you at all.
Yikes. Okay.
Right. So, and this is the thing. These women's advocates, these so-called women's advocates that do the most despicable harm to other women while they're playing self-righteous make me sick.
Yeah.
You know, like, what about this guy's wife? Do her feelings matter? She wants to sue for her pain. Can Miss Wright sue you for her pain that you had a part in?
Right.
Before, I know people always like, well, he's the one who made the vow. It's him. True. That goes without saying.
Could you say that again, please, with that accent?
That's my mocking voice.
I didn't hear you the first time.
I said, well, he's the one who made the vow, so he's the one in the wrong. I'm sorry. When you know a man is married, don't spread your legs.
Please don't.
Because yes, it goes without saying, he's the one who made the vow. He's the cheater. He's the one breaking his own wife's heart. But if you know she exists and you willingly do it anyway,
yeah, that's not good.
You're guilty too, and you're pawn scum. Just don't do it, because you know you're asking. Look at where this lady ends up. You're asking for trouble. It's not worth it. And if you support women, you would never do this kind of harm to another woman. So at this point, I'm like, lady, forget you. You're pawn scum too. Okay. Let's see. Cassidy and Lauren would appreciate your take on YouTube video. The Blake Lively situation is deeper than you think. On Olay and Chill channel. Olay is New York City public defender. She interviewed Taylor Lorenz last night.
If you have to go to Taylor Lorenz to get somebody who is on your side to argue for you, like, then you're done. Sorry, I give Taylor Lorenz a wide berth. Like, I steer away from, like, I don't really go around saying anything bad about Taylor Lorenz when other people are talking about her articles and crap like that. I'm like, yeah, I didn't like that, but I don't want to sit here and like knock on other creators, you know what I mean, or like writers or reporters. But so I give her a wide berth, but at the same time, knowing in the back of my mind, this is not somebody who has anything credible to say, in my opinion, just based on the way that she has kind of conducted herself in other areas. Like the whole thing with the Washington Post. I'm just not a fan. I mean, I don't hate the lady or anything. I hate her opinions on this case for sure. I don't hate the lady, but I would not take her opinions as any sort of as based in any sort of credible fact.
Okay, I have to admit, I'm not super familiar with Taylor Lorenz.
She was the one that started the whole Justin Baldoni supporters are in a right-wing pipeline thing.
Oh.
Yeah, if you haven't read it yet.
So this is gonna be like enrage me.
Absolutely. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I probably won't watch that. I might read the transcript. I probably won't watch that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, I try to steer clear of a couple of those guys. So.
Okay. So for your mental health, that's how I have to look at things sometimes. Like, how is this going to affect my mental health? So yeah, I will take a peek at it and see what I think, Shami. But yeah, I don't know much about her. It's a her, right?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right.
To let me know what you think, because
thank you so much.
I might read the transcript.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a good idea to read the transcript. All right. Let me see this. If Justin had decided to take her up on her offer to show him how yummy she could be in person, Blake would make an identical argument about the ensuing affair to this woman. I think you're definitely right. Okay, so let's get back to Miss Thang here.
Okay.
All right. Can you read this one, Lauren? I'm gonna take some coffee sips here.
Mr. Wright and Miss Dorsey maintained a close relationship over the next 11 years, sometimes in a romantic capacity and sometimes not, but always as close friends and colleagues. Throughout that time, and regardless of the status of the romantic component of their relationship, Mr. Wright always supported Defendant Dorsey's career. When Defendant Dorsey left law school in 2012, Mr. Wright wrote a letter of recommendation for her to clerk at a federal court. When Defendant Dorsey finished with her clerkship, Mr. Wright helped her secure interviews with several firms, including Wilson, Sonsony Godrich, and Rosati. Yeah, where she accepted the position. Right.
Okay, at this point, like, I'm done with both of them.
Yeah.
11 years.
Yeah.
We're talking mid-30s by this point. Both married. Both know each other is married. Screw both of these people.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's their problem. But
oh God, no. No, you said that. Oh no.
So, I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, let's admit this to the court. This is the perfect case to match Blake. Okay. Can you go on with this one?
Well, yeah, sure. At various points throughout the on and off relationship, Defendant Dorsey asked for help because she wanted to leave antitrust private practice. Mr. Wright, continuing to support her in any way he could, helped her interview with different think tanks, as well as government agencies, including for key positions at the FTC and the Antitrust Division of the Department of Justice. Defendant Dorsey successfully secured positions at the FTC and the DOJ. When Defendant Dorsey left the DOJ, she again sought career advice from Mr. Wright. She was unsure if she wanted to enter academia, move to an in-house counsel position, return to private practice, or go to graduate school. In response, Mr. Wright set up opportunities for her to talk to academics, created and raised funds for an academic fellowship at University of Virginia, and made a variety of calls supporting her for in-house jobs, including Amazon.
Okay, let me put this. Where'd it go? Is this the one? I always click the wrong one.
I'm not sure.
This is the icon again. I just realized it.
Yeah, right.
You are 100% correct. It was a power imbalance in college, and it was wrong then. When it continued outside of college, when both were colleagues, it stopped being predatory. Exactly. Yep. That's exactly how I feel.
Yep.
Okay. And here's the thing. I have this story when I was 17 years old. Okay. I had just graduated. I graduated early at 17, but I worked at a grocery store at the time, and we had just graduated. There was this boy, and he was adorable, like super, super cute. Always thought he was cute. Probably stared at him a little too much in class. But but I knew the girl that he was with. We had been friends like in middle school, and then we kind of had drifted apart. She ended up being kind of a mean girl. Wasn't super nice. The friendship ended. So like through high school, we said hi. We weren't like good friends, but we had been close friends in middle school. So it's the summer after graduation. So we both work at this grocery store, right? So he comes to me. I was working in the produce department. So I'm in the like behind the scenes wrapping fruit and vegetables and stuff. And there's a cooler that I have to like take certain things in, keep them chilled. So he comes back there. He's talking to me, pulls me in there, unzips his pants, like,
what the
exposes himself, wants me to touch him. Okay, I'm 17 years old, a single 17-year-old. Okay, and I had the sense to, you know what I said to him? I'm like, but you're with Lisa. Like,
right, yeah.
I'm not gonna do this to her. Yeah. And I'm like, how could you do this to her? And got out of there. That's what you do.
Yeah.
My first thought was about his girlfriend, and I was 17 years old.
Yeah.
It's not hard to do, people.
I imagine your second thought was like, why is your wiener out here among the produce?
Exactly.
This is not the hot dog aisle.
This is vegan. Yeah, and I don't know why that popped into my head, but because they're saying like this woman was grown, and I knew at 17 you don't do that stuff. But yeah that was boys are so weird, aren't they? Okay,
God,
so what's that?
yes, they are. They are.
So, and he was 18 because I was younger than most of the people in my
Ah,
class.
gotcha.
And oh, yikes, Lala. That's awful. Your
That is
best
awful.
friend and your boyfriend cheated. That's sick.
Oh,
That's
somebody says you're in the fridge, sir. If you want a good showing, don't go to the fridge.
okay. Okay, this is going south. my my little story. Okay. This Blake case is bringing out a circus of ladies who made a series of poor life choices they want the law to compensate them for, right? Exactly. All right. I'm sorry, Lauren, I know you got to go, and I have no sense of time.
I got another
So,
20 minutes.
okay. So, all right, let's get the rest of the story. Do you want to read this one, or you want me to take it?
I can do it.
Okay, thanks.
Okay. Defendant Dorsey also confided in Mr. Wright on 2 separate occasions that she had been sexually assaulted by 2 different members of the antitrust bar. Mr. Wright believed her at the time. Eventually, in late October 2021, Mr. Wright ended the off and on romantic relationship with the defendant Dorsey in a text message telling her that he was seeing another woman. He also told her who it was. Dude, don't do that. But also, I don't really care that he messed things up for himself. So,
Right.
the other woman, who is now Miss Wright's live-in girlfriend. Oh, fucking who she is. I'm sorry, language. My bad, guys. I'm so sorry.
This story makes you want to say words.
I have been so good, and I just came out this time. The other woman, who is now Mr. Wright's live-in girlfriend, was not just any other woman. Defendant Dorsey had previously worked with her at the same firm. During that period, Mr. Wright and this other woman had been in a romantic relationship. Defendant Dorsey knew about the relationship. What? She knew. Oh my God. Defendant Dorsey knew about the relationship at the time, which overlapped with her own romantic relationship with Mr. Wright, and she hated her. Really? The man has a wife and a girlfriend, and you. Okay.
Yeah. Who was it that said harem? Someone in the comments said harem. That they weren't kidding.
I don't remember. Yeah, right. Defendant Dorsey was incensed. She immediately responded in a text message. What the actual word that I just used that I shouldn't have? And I deserve more than that
I
word again. Text right now.
Okay. Remember what I said about well documented. We are going to Exhibit A. It is like a soap opera, Marbella. Here we go. Do you want to be, which pawn scum do you want to be, him or her?
Oh, I will be him, I guess. Okay. No, that's creepy. Okay, I'll be her. You go ahead.
Okay, I'll be him. Call.
LOL.
That wasn't cheesy enough.
Yeah, right. You want to try again?
I don't know if I got middle-aged pervert, in my repertoire, but I'll try. Call.
That was pretty good. That's pretty good.
I just creeped myself out. I got literal chills. Okay, go ahead.
LOL. Okay, I can't hear you. Call me back.
I don't need you on whatever that is. Call. Do not join WG call. As you thought might be happening, I'm seeing Lindsay. And I need to cut off communications for the time being until later when we get back together again. I'm sorry I let you down. I'll make sure you get your stuff.
Well, what the actual F? Well, I'm already on, so not dropping off. And I deserve more than an effing text right now. Oh, she's still going. Okay.
Oh, yeah. This is going to go.
I need you at a minimum to call me because right now I cannot possibly think less of you. Well, you say you're all about loyalty. Show it right now for once. She's not like mad.
She thought this man was loyal?
Yeah. What the F is right?
Him?
Oh my God.
Well, she's been sharing him with how many women, and she thought he was loyal.
And also she is like mad at him for leaving her, not for doing something wrong to her. I mean, what the heck?
Exactly.
I mean, I get you not wanting to see me, but you going back to Lindsay after how horribly she's treated you, your family, everyone you say you care about, Jesus Christ.
I do need to do better. As you might guess, I'm in a weird, dark place. I'm such a victim. And yes, I owe you a call and a talk, and you'll get it. It won't be right now. I'm at office and running to meetings, but I do owe you that, and we'll do it. And I understand why. You can't think less of me right now. I think the same, and we will talk.
And can I just come grab my things from you? Something like that to be done at
Sorry,
this
I
point.
can't get rid of that. It was on the actual
Yeah, I
screen.
got you. And I do not. Something. Hold on.
Wait, did I skip?
What happened? Where did we go?
Okay, there.
Yeah, okay. Please don't worry about my things, but I do still need you to give me work and pay me. Oh, okay. And write the articles with me we discussed, please. And please not ask me not to join professional calls like RTP because it's not fair to punish me professionally for my personal failures. The punishment I'm dealing with personally is more than enough. Wait, what happened here?
Yeah.
What did she do? I'm confused.
I think there was some missing between that one and this one. So I'm not sure. This is all that was in there though.
Yeah.
And I said, fine. I didn't ask you not to join RTP. Thought you told me you were leaving it to me.
Okay, please just let me know when you can talk. I don't have anything, so anytime works for me. And I do need that. Lady, never tell a man that. All right. Just so I can get a sense of closure, and I'll stop communicating with you personally as you requested. I'm sorry that I didn't figure out sooner that you wanted me out of your life.
These two people trying to play victims when they're neither of them are victims.
Yeah.
I'm not ignoring. Sorry for not responding. I'm reading and picking up kids.
This guy's got kids.
These poor kids.
Yeah.
These poor kids. No need to apologize. Oh gosh, I hate I hate gaslighters and manipulators and all of these.
This guy's such a douche.
I seriously got the ick.
Yeah.
No need. Okay, and I appreciate you including in the middle of me imploding here and causing harm that you're worried about me. I sincerely do, and I do care. And I'm worried about me too. My own spiral, but not trying to make it about me while I make it about me.
Right.
When I said we could talk, and I'm not saying that to punt or evade. We can talk and will. I'm sorry. I need to be with kids now.
I hope they're your kids.
How many kids?
I'm not sure. He's kind of creepy.
So creepy.
Okay. Something in contact
with. I hope you're enjoying time with, but I don't know if it continues on.
In contact with Lindsay for essentially a couple years now. So yesterday I was caught totally off guard and was deeply hurt and reacted in the moment. I'm sorry I got it so wrong and didn't understand. So did he successfully gaslight her? It kind of sounds like he did.
Yep.
That's unfortunate. Hey, I wanted to log into Lodestar to get some work done this weekend, but seemed to be locked out. Can you please send materials to my Gmail? Reached out to Zach, but haven't heard back yet. Thanks. Or let me know if someone else I should reach out to. Gilead materials could really use another project to dig into right now, help but get my mind off things. And then the next day she texts no ?
Yeah, I don't know what that.
I kind of know where this is going.
I think because he didn't respond, she's like,
yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Jillian.
Oh God. Wow. Okay. I don't know how I survived this effing year. Don't think I want to. You promised me multiple times you would be here, but you're doing the opposite. You're abandoning me in the worst possible way. That's straight effed up. And I'm so embarrassed for thinking you ever respected me, let alone loved me. I didn't think I could hurt this much. You're being so mean to me, and I don't know why. I don't know what I've done so wrong in my life to end up in this total dumpster fire right now, or why I'm so expendable to you that you seem to keep going out of your way to hurt me. And I'm reading these text messages, and I'm like, while I'm kind of have the ick with these people right now, and I'm judging, I also won't lie. Like, I've been in a situation where I was dumped in a text message, and I texted like this, like a lot of texting and just like going through my emotions in text messages afterwards. Right. And it's embarrassing after the fact. So like, I get where she was coming from, but I'm sure, after this happened, she probably looked back on that and was like, I wish I hadn't sent all those texts.
Yeah. Especially when they ended up in this public file,
Right, exactly.
But like, what have I done so wrong in my life to end up in this total dumpster fire? Ask your husband, lady.
Oh my God, I forgot about the husband. Oh my God.
Like, she's so hurt. She's this hurt. Lady, you got a whole man at home.
Did the husband ever know about him at any point? Do we know? That's, oh my God.
I don't know. That's what I want to know. Husband, if you're out there, come talk to us. Jesus. We want to hear. Okay, so and then I was thinking this one wasn't in it, but it was actually in it. But
Okay.
yeah, her saying, you know, I mean, I get you not wanting to see me, but you're going back to her after how
Oh, yeah,
horribly
yeah.
she treated you. So she's like trying to put this woman down and be
Right.
like what a pick me. Like you
Yeah,
know,
very much so. Uh-huh.
you're at this point, you're like what, 35, 36, lady. Oh,
Yeah.
do better. Do better.
Right.
So, within days of sending the above text messages, defendant Dorsey came uninvited to the law school, waited outside of one of Mr. Wright's classes, and then followed him to his office. Once in his office, and now we've got witnesses, she loudly yelled at him regarding the end of their relationship and demanded to have a conversation with him. Several people overheard her yelling. Like, these people have no shame.
I guess not. Wow.
Wait a minute. Yeah, I deleted one of her comments early on because I wanted the story to reveal itself. But this woman has inside information. I've met Wright, and trust me, the fact that he can get any women, let alone two, on the side is actually miraculous. I believe it. I believe it. Yeah, I would love to hear more from you. But let's see, quirky queen. Oh, I get it, quirky queen. First, I was like, I can't say that, and then I'm like, oh,
I had no idea what that said. I was just kind of like,
adorable.
all right, fun.
Okay, what have we got? She believed he loved it. Right, girl, you're an attorney. You should know about context clues. Context clues indicate that he is a whole man whore, and you believed him, right?
Yeah.
Would you want? I wouldn't want this woman on my case. That's absolutely for certain. Okay, I thought this live was going to be soul destroying, having respected group support. Blake. Who knew it'd be so much fun? Yeah,
the groups aren't going to be that respected for that much longer if they keep throwing themselves at this.
Yeah. Take this woman's brief, please. Take this woman's brief.
Right.
It gives, I'm a cheater, but how dare you cheat on me? I'm actually shaking my head in disbelief. Exactly.
That sums it up. Yeah.
Okay. She sounds like she may have been retaliating against him at this point. Like Blake. She's, sorry. Oh, scam likely. They call me every day.
You didn't take my call?
Okay. Oh my God, my entire opinion of this woman is changing at speed in real time. I think we know why she filed her letter thingy, or at least have a fair idea. Exactly. So, like, some people file these briefs because they want to help. This woman wants to tell her story. She's got a hold. Well, we'll get to it.
Right.
Okay, after Mr. Wright refused to have a further conversation with her, defendant Dorsey repeatedly tried to contact Mr. Wright's girlfriend with several calls and text messages, which were unwelcome by Mr. Wright's girlfriend. Let's talk about how stupid Mr. Wright's current girlfriend is. Like, choosing this man to probably felt lucky she got chosen out of all of the harem. Okay. Can you take this one? I need to drink some water. I've been sipping coffee. It's making me more dry.
Defendant Dorsey also repeatedly contacted Mr. Wright's assistant in an attempt to reach Mr. Wright or to disparage him. Ultimately, this persistent and aggressive conduct made Mr. Wright fearful for his safety and his children's safety, as Defendant Dorsey had proven herself to be extremely erratic and unpredictable. Defendant Dorsey's conduct persisted and worsened. In retaliation for the breakup, Defendant Dorsey embarked on a premeditated plan to ruin Mr. Wright's life.
Okay, now he thinks about his children's safety? Now?
Right.
Like, how many How many true crime things start with an affair and end up with murder?
Right, exactly.
And whole families wiped out. And just now, at this point, at his big old age, he's like, oh, this could bring some trouble on my children.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Moron.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Somebody says this lady's giving Stephanie Jones vibes.
Yes. Yes. Oh no, not stalking the new other woman. Where's the Stephanie Jones?
Oh, it's the last one, the bottom one.
Maybe the lively side should strike their own support. She's also protecting the law for nefarious reasons. Yep.
Right. I mean, it's
there it is.
yeah, it's God damn it. I'm trying to collect myself here without swearing. It's just so frustrating because it's like looking at this, I can kind of feel for her in the beginning, right? When he's the professor and he's the icky guy scanning out
Right.
students, because that's gross and creepy. Again, it's
Yes.
not the same as like being forcefully, assaulted, but that doesn't mean it's not inappropriate and wrong, and it doesn't mean it doesn't hurt the person that's on the other end of that. But at the same time, it's like everything that happened after that is indicating to me that you're not the person who should be advocating for these types of people who are going through harassment and abuse and stuff like in this situation, because the bulk of what you're complaining about is just a consensual adult relationship that did not end the way that she wanted it to.
Exactly.
So that's unfortunate. I did not know anything about this woman's case until now. So
yeah. And
yeah, wow.
Yep. Here we go. But then she became the instigator and revengeful and psychopathic at times. Yep. Wait, what? I saw front porch. You're killing us today. Wait a minute. Stephanie Jones and this Dorsey chick both have some front porch. What? They're giving missing link vibes. Could they be related? Let's just say they are. They're sisters in something. We didn't read this one, right?
No.
Okay.
Having been one of Mr. Wright's closest confidants and a lover for over a decade. Oh God, I hate that word.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know what it is. It's just so, and having insider knowledge of his employment. Insider knowledge of his employment and his major clients. She knew exactly where and how to hurt him professionally and reputationally. Within 2 months of the breakup, she filed a false Title IX complaint against him with GMU on December 12, 2021. In it, defendant Dorsey told horrific and obvious lies of sexual harassment to the Title IX office. The facts of their long-standing, obviously consensual relationship be damned. Defendant Dorsey portrayed Mr. Wright in her Title IX complaint as a sexual predator and herself as a victim. Given their decade-long history, they're traveling the world together, Jesus, and they're sharing the most intimate details of their lives, including both of their prior marriages. I guess they got divorced. Shock. These allegations were patently ridiculous. Defendant Dorsey also falsely stated to the Title IX office that after she ended the relationship with Mr. Wright, which you can see is not what happened, he took adverse actions against her to retaliate for her terminating the relationship. As shown by the text messages and the fact he never took or even had the power to take the retaliatory actions she alleged, this was also a malicious lie.
Okay. All right. So there's like several more pages to this, to his complaint that I'm just skipping. And I wrote this down so I wouldn't forget. About the retaliation that they took against him with his clients and career. And they went like full blown, they like her and this other defendant in this lawsuit, Angela Landry, they went like ham on him, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
He played with fire, knowing these things often end this way. He exposed his wife to any number of diseases, some that come with lifelong, life-altering, or life-ending consequences. I do not feel sorry for this man. I do, however, take exception to anyone who makes false claims in a court of law or files fraudulent sexual assault or sexual harassment charges. So on behalf of real victims everywhere, you reaped what you sowed, Mr. Wright. So yeah, I don't want to read all his like, oh, they victimized me in this way and that way. Okay, and then she makes a Twitter account. Well, both of them, but we're not talking about Angela today. But Angela's got some stuff on here too. So very much the same story, maybe a little less crazy. So yeah, this is Elise, and I kind of skimmed through her Twitter account. You guys can go have your own look. It's in her own name because she wants her story out there.
I'm just gonna block.
Yeah,
that's just what I do with people. I don't want to see your stuff because I think that you have some really bad takes, and I don't want to interact with you. You're just getting blocked, even if I've never spoken to you. Like some of the higher profile content creators who are like bagging on Justin all the time. I'm just like, well, I'll just block you. It's fine.
Yep.
I don't have to see your stuff. You can never tag me. That's fine.
Exactly. Yep. Rosen's wild. This no longer seems like it's to hurt Blake. It's to show her story and more drama with this man. I think you hit the nail on the head. So she creates, what happened? So she creates this Twitter account And as if taken from a plot in a bad movie, yeah, this whole thing sounds like a bad movie. I feel like it could be a movie someday, like maybe on Lifetime.
Yeah, maybe.
Dorsey's first post on her newly created Twitter account stated, I held out as long as I could, but now I have things to say.
With a me, so oh my god,
I swear it's middle school, right?
Well, when you put everything in this context now, it's like, well, yeah, you almost definitely inserted yourself into the Lively case for alternate reasons. Like it's like it was more like, didn't they just settle her case or something?
For this. Wait, are you talking about her?
Yes, Elise.
Yeah. Yeah, she has to settle and pay him money.
So when did they decide that?
We're gonna get. I think we'll get to it in just a second. Okay. This is all like
I'm thinking maybe
it's really recent. It's really recent.
Yes. Okay. So now that that's over, this almost feels like she wants more eyes on her story. So now that she's going, she picked this case, even though the accuser, her claims have nothing to do with anything that Elise went through. She picked this case, which has so many eyes on it because there's celebrities involved to file this brief, and it now. Especially seeing this, I held out as long as I could, like I don't know, like it's all giving very. I want people to listen to me, so I'm just going to give as much attention to this as possible. So I don't know, man. Like I still feel a little bad saying it, but I just think that this was done for attention. Sorry, I mean that's the truth.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, let's call things what they are. I'm not sorry for being honest about it. So this tweet is like they picked age appropriate people for like this is the three of them. It's crazy. This is fatal attraction without the body. Going after the end of an affair is humiliating behavior for a woman. And yes, Dorsey just settled 2 months ago. All right, here's Quirky Queen. These people are supposed to be counsel to clients. Exactly. When you run from this law firm, lawyers should be at least outwardly present as intelligent and well-spoken. Imagine being represented by Wright or Dorsey for antitrust, which is big money. Exactly. No way. It starts with an amicus brief and ends with a self-hugging jacket and a forced vacation in the hospital. Yeah. Exactly. Okay. All right. I know you got to leave soon.
Yeah, we can probably get through the end of it, right?
Okay. All right.
Try to at least.
Let me see. So I'll just paraphrase this one. So they go to this Law 360, published a story. Many other platforms began publishing stories. We already kind of saw that. Okay, you wanna take this one?
Sure. With one bed and there were no client meetings. She claims that in the hotel room, she didn't really feel like I had a choice to engage in sexual contact, which she claims was the first time they had been intimate. This account is a lie.
Yeah.
While the trip itself did happen, defendant Dorsey and Mr. Wright were already in a romantic sexual relationship, which changes the entire context of the events. The trip was not some ruse to get defendant Dorsey into a hotel room alone. It was a romantic getaway for two lovers to spend time in wine country. Defendant Dorsey's false account is straight out of a bad movie and is intended to portray Mr. Wright as a sexual predator and herself as a victim.
I almost spit my coffee when you did that.
Defendant Dorsey also claims in the article that Mr. Wright pressured her to keep their relationship a secret. This is similarly misleading as it leaves out the fact that defendant Dorsey also expressed her desire to keep the relationship secret since both of them were married. Once again, defendant Dorsey creates the implication that secrecy was one-sided and was intended by Mr. Wright to exercise power over her, when in reality the desire for discretion was mutual for two consenting adults who were both married and did not want their respective spouses to know about the relationship. Defendant Dorsey also leaves out the crucial context of their 11-year history of close and often intimate relationship. She leaves out the fact that she continued to be involved with Mr. Wright long after graduating from law school. Mm-hmm. She knowingly took jobs working at the same company and would resume their romantic relationship even when they were not at the same company. When defendant Dorsey describes confronting Mr. Wright about an affair with another former GMU law student, she fails to mention that this person was not just some former GMU student, but was a romantic rival. Romantic rival, God. A woman who also had a long-term on and off relationship with Mr. Wright. Guys, the roster is fighting. Which had overlapped with defendant Dorsey's romantic relationship. Once again, defendant Dorsey intends to portray Mr. Wright as a sexual predator, but in reality, this is about a love triangle among consenting adults. This is like the worst Twilight fan fiction ever. Right. Defendant Dorsey creates the false impression that this affair was something new she had just learned, when in fact she had known about the relationship for many years, and that she was upset not because this was a former GMU student, but because it was her romantic rival, and that Mr. Wright had chosen her over Dorsey. Indeed, defendant Dorsey was well aware that Mr. Wright and this former GMU student are still together in a committed relationship.
Committed?
That guy's
He's
not
committed now.
There's no way that guy's not cheating on her already.
No.
And she intentionally leaves out that information to create the false implication that Mr. Wright preys on students. Defendant Dorsey then claims that Mr. Wright retaliated against her after she ended the relationship. This is false on every level. Not only do her own texts show that it was Mr. Wright who definitively ended the relationship with her, but she also knew based on emails and the evidence in the underlying Title IX case that Mr. Wright had in fact continued to help her professionally, and that he did not have any authority over her employment at GMU, which she says ended abruptly. Well, what did you do? Maybe she wouldn't scream at someone in their office there too, man. I don't know.
Isn't this crazy?
Yeah.
So, wait, what was this one about? Let me try to, I forgot. Oh, this is where like the court allowed, because they were trying to get this defamation suit like killed. Mm-hmm. Like, we're victims, he can't do this to us. But the court's like, yes, he can. Mm-hmm. And so they let it keep going. Do you need to go, or are you okay?
I'm good. I pushed it to 12:15. So.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so here is this. Look how new this is. This is March 12th. So this is the answer. Do you need me to read for a second, or are you okay to go on?
Yeah, because I have to talk to my boss back. Give me 1 second.
Oh, okay, sure. Okay, so this came out March 12th of this year. So former George Mason University law professor says he's fully vindicated after relatively modest defamation suit settlement. A former professor at the George Mason University, I'm not going to say that name, law school, has reached a settlement in his defamation lawsuit against 2 former students who allege that he abused his power to initiate sexual relationships with them when they were law students. Professor Joshua D. Wright settled with Elise Dorsey and dropped his claim against Freshfields counsel Angela Landry, report law.com, Law 360, and Reuters. His suit, filed in Fairfax County, Virginia Circuit Court, had sought $108 million in damages. The articles identify Dorsey as a Kirkland & Ellis partner, but the law firm's website page for her appears to have been removed. And I think someone said that in comments, that she no longer works there. And I don't have any questions as to why. Dorsey's settlement provides Wright with a relatively modest amount of compensation, so these women had to pay him, and allows Dorsey to continue speaking out, which she's doing. Mm-hmm. Law.com reports. Wright filed a motion to end the litigation last week. Wright had maintained that the relationships were consensual, and the 2 women were scorned former, there's your word, Lauren, lover. In a statement released to Law 360, he said he is relieved to have been fully vindicated. The evidence has made it undeniably clear that the relationships in question were consensual from the start. I remain fully committed to defending my reputation and will not hesitate to take further legal action if necessary to hold accountable those responsible for false accusations. While you're doing that, sir, could you kindly hold yourself accountable too for being a sicko? The 2 defendants said they were pleased with the development. I'm sure they were pleased with the development. They had to pay this turd money. Yeah. A statement by Dorsey's lawyer said the settlement will exclusively be paid from insurance. Poor insurance having to pay for this.
I don't feel bad for insurance ever.
Oh, that's true. No. Yeah, that's true.
I just hate everyone involved in this.
Throw them all away. Start over.
I hate that anyone here is getting money at all.
Exactly. Well, her name was Lindsay. Did you catch that? Quirky Queen says, I wonder if Wright is in a relationship with the lawyer who wrote this. I wonder, because he says Lindsay, and I think that's the name of.
Please tell me that's not the case. Please tell me that's not the case.
So can the judge strike this? He doesn't even need to. Like, it's just there for him to review if he wants. It's not anything that's like for him to act on, or I hope he leaves it there for more people to read. To be honest, I hope everybody sees this.
Well, mainstream media.
I heard people saying, "Oh, she was a real victim. She doesn't compare to Blake," and I'm like, no.
Well, dude, that's what I thought. I mean, that's obviously my assumption was just like my assumption immediately to be like, hey, this person's lying. That's not my assumption. So I said, assuming, you know, that what she's saying is true, which sounds terrible. I have no reason yet not to believe it. But now this is a little bit different. So yeah.
Except our insurance goes up because of these scammers. Exactly, Michelle.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, Fitch. Anybody feel like this is somehow the story of how Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds got married? It is. Basically, right? Didn't in the same year she had 2 married men and a couple of non-married men, and then ended up with him, right?
Man, I've lost track of these people's relationship timelines.
That's all allegedly. So
it just makes me want to feel like I want to be alone a little bit longer when I read about these people's relationships.
Right?
I got a couple more years where I don't have to enter into anything like that.
Yeah, and these are grown people. Come on.
Yeah, I might have done this shit in my early 20s. But not that I would sleep with a married person, but just like I might have gotten into a messy situation like this when I was really young. You know what I mean? But
yeah, because people do dumb stuff when they're young. But like when you're a full-grown lawyer, come on now. Yeah. Oh, definitely. We're not giving him any breaks at all. The women aren't the only psychos. Wright is a psycho too. Absolutely. And you know, that's why I didn't read like his like a sad story of all the ways they victimized him. And you guys can find this lawsuit. I'll
probably read the whole thing later.
Yeah, you know, but you know, I'm not gonna like tell his little sad victim story because he's not a sad victim, and I'm glad they destroyed him professionally because he deserved to be destroyed professionally.
That guy should never be around students again, ever.
He lost that job, thank goodness. You know, because he was using it as a harem. Everybody kind of got what they deserved in this. Yeah. So let's see. Dorsey settlement did I already read that? I read part of it.
I think you did. Yeah, I think you read part of it.
Let's see where
I do not remember where we left off.
Yeah. Settling this case was a difficult decision, but it allows me to continue my advocacy work without the distraction or continued trauma of my bad decisions.
You caused this. What the
of ongoing litigation. Okay, her advocacy work. You know what, lady? Please never advocate for a real
advocacy for what?
For a real survivor. Please never advocate for somebody. Stick to the Blakes, Elise. Stick to the Blakes. Okay,
they're very
far away from the real victims.
Yeah, I mean, there very well could have been some sexual harassment in the beginning when he was the professor, and I wish she would have just said no to that and run in the other direction, but she didn't. And everything that happened after that was 100% consensual. And then especially everything that happened after the student-professor relationship ended, and he was no longer, you know, she was no longer required to be a subordinate to him. She just kept choosing to follow him from job to job. Like everything that happened after that is not, it's not a sexual harassment situation. Obviously, you're clinging onto this guy for dear life when you're freaking out like that in his text messages because he's not even his wife, but his other girlfriend is like somebody that you're a rival to. Like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Man.
She is. Oh, wait, I clicked the wrong one. Yeah, does he think it will end well? Exactly. You know, what year did Fatal Attractions come out? She is Delulu. Yeah. So, I mean, just look at Investigation Discovery and like look up how many love triangles end in murder. You know, that should tell everybody to stay away from that.
That's
don't go there.
Right.
So yeah, so here she goes with her advocacy career. And here is the unveil. Oh, the stupid StreamYard. You know what? I just need to pay for this just to get rid of that duck, you know.
Oh yeah. Worth it. Yeah.
Do you use StreamYard or do you
I'll use if I'm doing something pre-recorded, I might use OBS, but lately it's been so much easier to record and edit in StreamYard, even though the editing isn't the best. It's just easy. So yeah, I do use it. But when I can help it and when I have time to really do what I want to do, I'll use OBS instead, and then I use Vegas for editing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was trying it out first to see, if I liked it enough to buy it, because if I buy it, I want to do a year at a time, and it's because you save a little money.
Yeah,
but that's that's a big whack. So I was like, let me make sure.
Yeah, definitely it is.
Yeah, like 400 something bucks. Woo.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I like the library space too, though. That helps.
The what?
The library space.
Library space?
Oh yeah, it saves your streams when you're done recording into your library, so that you can go in and you can make clips and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you get the full version, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So I don't have any of those like really good features, but I'm thinking I'm probably just going to go ahead and do it. All right. So is Blake's new supporter a scheming fraudster? And then this is what she was saying. That's what he gets for choosing his other affair partner. So this is like the truth of this.
Yeah. This is really a lot grosser than I thought. Like really, it's so gross. Wow.
It is. It's so gross. Okay, Michelle, that's what infuriated me. Her bogus stuff failed, and she spins into being an advocate for others. And you know what? Just like, who was it that said earlier, like, this seems like, her way to keep telling her story. Like, she doesn't even care about the person whose story she's advocating for, supposedly. This is just another chance to spread her. Yes, that's her. That's her. That's probably an old picture, I would guess, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this is.
Oh, geez.
People mad at cheaters for cheating on them are the craziest of them all. This man isn't faithful to his one and only side chick. The horror. Exactly. Like, this is what you get.
Yeah, for sure.
This is what you get. Love to see Friedman's take on this. Great research, Cassidy. Couldn't you just picture like what Friedman's gonna say?
Oh my God. Oh God.
I love that man because he's so like, the one comment about like Madison Square Garden, I get where he was coming from, but I do wish he didn't say that.
I mean, I got you. I know what you mean.
Yeah, but I love that he just like says what he thinks, like just puts it out there. I do. I love me some Friedman.
Mm-hmm.
But yep. So that's the story.
Yeah, and this is yikes. Wow. And then apparently there's 2 more briefs that are supposed to be filed. I think Leanne put it on Twitter. What were they? Let me see. Because she said there's 2 more that are due to file amicus briefs. Give me 1 second.
There's more?
Child USA and Sanctuary for Families are also due to file their own amicus.
Okay, but what children? Okay, never mind.
Absolutely no idea what these.
Why are these legit people getting involved? I don't understand. Like, pick a better victim. And I know they want to see this rule used for the first time, and they love that it's a big public case. But this is not the one.
That would be a disgrace, honestly.
It's besmirched. That's all I can think. I usually don't make fun of appearances. This is Quirky Queen again, but Wright looks like a human thumb. And I still can't believe anybody wanted to see him naked. Oh, goodness. No filter, Friedman. Exactly. Okay. Oh, here's Leanne. So she said it's Child USA. Yeah. Why are these legit advocacy groups getting involved? This is exactly it. They want 47.1 to be enforced. But you know what? This could backfire on them spectacularly.
It's going to be a quick way to shut this shit down. I mean, crap.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't want this to be a rule. I don't want to say what that guy said yesterday because that's for part 2. But, people have some legit fears. And here's the thing. If you have any male person that you love, a spouse, a father, a son, a brother, a cousin, a friend, why do you want something like this out there that's just so difficult to overcome? There are not enough caveats to it. It's just like, this is it. The man's guilty, the woman's right. And he can't even defend himself, basically. So a lot of people have that view, and so they're like, this needs either amended or struck. So Leanne says sanctuary for families. That's sad to me. So now they're bringing in like people who fight for children, and like, pick a better victim, people, please. You're good organizations.
I think that sexual harassment and sexual assault statistics are like it's like so pervasive that it's easy to kind of recognize how painful an experience that is for a woman to go through or for someone to go through. But you don't really see too much about the other end of the coin, like people who are lying about these things, and then how the sort of things go for the person that's being accused falsely, because that is also a very isolating, depressing existence.
Yeah.
I've talked about this before a little bit, but I had a relationship with someone, and this was several years ago, and when it ended, she had a kid, and so I was raising the child with her. It was from a different relationship she had, and so when they left, even though I had been the only one taking care of them and like doing anything, because she unfortunately fell into some drug addictions and wasn't working, and just it was not going well. But so even though I did all that for them, and she was like always saying like how appreciative she was, and how like good I was at like taking care of the child, whose name I'm trying not to use because I just don't want to.
Right.
She then turned around and started telling people, like her family members and this guy that she was seeing, I didn't know at the time, the guy that she was seeing like right at the same time we started our relationship, who I did not know much about. She started telling them that I was like beating them, and that I had done all this horrible stuff. And I was just like, are you serious? Like, and even though it was just like people that weren't really involved in my life separate from her, even though she was only saying those things to people who were either her family or mostly strangers to me, it was still like a really terrible, shameful thing to carry around, just knowing that there are people out there that thought that I would do something like that.
Right.
So,
and that even if the story gets corrected at some point, you've got to worry, are there still people out there who believe that of me? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry that happened to you, Lauren. That's sick.
Yeah, it was pretty messed up. That all blew up around when COVID happened, and so the weird thing is, we were supposed to get married in Vegas, like right around when things were starting to shut down, because we were just like, okay, well, our wedding got canceled because of all this, so we're just gonna go do this now. And I had not signed the prenup, and we were gonna go get married like this weekend before we broke up, and I got strep throat, and so and that time they weren't gonna let me on the plane because of the COVID stuff, and I had a fever. And so we didn't get married. And then I find out that she was like cheating and all this stuff the next weekend. So it was weird.
Like, I've never been so happy to have strep throat in my life.
Right? And I didn't see it that way at the time, because like it would have probably ruined my life if I had been able to get on that plane. Because who knows? Like, she might have, if after we had gotten married, she might have said and done all kinds of things the way that she did when we broke up, and then kind of like held me hostage. You know what I mean? Because like, right out of that, I realized she was really like kind of using and abusing me and my family for financial reasons. She definitely never, she definitely wasn't interested in me. It was unfortunate, and I don't know why I put up with that for so long. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm not sad about it anymore. It's just the whole situation was messy, and it kind of just reminds me sometimes when I see stuff like this, I'm like, well, I've had someone say that I've done all kinds of things that I would never do in a million years. So, right. And it's awful. And if she had been somebody who had friends, because she was, she was a horrible person, she didn't have any friends. She had been someone who had friends, then I might have a lot. Yeah, I might have a lot more people right now that think some pretty awful things about me. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Wow. Well, that sucks. Thanks for sharing that. But that's exactly the thing. Like, imagine if she had taken that legal or something, and you'd had to deal with a costly lawsuit, and
right.
And everybody, child advocates get involved. And I mean, it's just crazy.
Oh yeah. There's a million reasons why this stuff pisses me off, but that's one of them. So.
Yep. I think most of us who have these feelings about Blake, we get called misogynists and all kinds of stuff, said about us. And it's like, you guys just don't get it. It's like the opposite of, Lily Mae, these organizations need to be more careful about assuming the accused is guilty. It's becoming disturbingly unfair. Yeah. And I would say, like, the majority by far of people who like go file complaints
Mm-hmm.
are being honest.
Right.
But you can't assume that everyone is. Like, there's been several, like right now, actively going on, men who've actually spent jail time because they were accused of something that they didn't do. And there was like camera footage at the stores. Both of them happened at stores, the two I'm thinking of. It was the footage from the grocery store that showed what really happened that saved them after they'd already been in jail and their face, put out everywhere, and these accusations made, so to me, that's kind of a blanket rule. It's a scary thing. I know like the intentions are good, but I don't know. You can't assume that a woman would never lie about that. I mean, just look at, this woman looks all sweet. Look at her little smile. She's cute. And then,
I'll say this too, and I can't say too much, but eventually this is all going to blow up in Blake's face more than it has. So they are not done with what they have to prove that she lied about her sexual harassment. And so when that comes out, these organizations are going to be horribly embarrassed.
Yeah, that this is what they latched onto.
Right. Yeah.
So
people are just waiting, until the time comes. So it's like, we know kind of how this is going to end eventually. It's just like so ugly in the meantime that it's hard not to get upset.
Oh, wait. The Walmart footage didn't save him. The DA is still taking his case to trial for attempted kidnapping.
Oh no.
Oh, I did not know that. I know the one in Pennsylvania, he's out and she's got to go to jail now. But I didn't know that the one where she accused him of trying to take the kids, I thought that was settled. Oh man, I'm gonna have to look that up. That's terrible.
Yo, I gotta run, unfortunately, because
okay. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thanks.
I gotta go too. I got physical therapy this afternoon, and
right,
I kind of need a nap before that.
All right, thanks everyone. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Have a safe flight.
Thanks. Bye.
All right. Wasn't that awesome? I love Lauren. So, and if any of you guys don't follow her, she is the Court of Random Opinion. Am I saying it right? My mind just went blank. But I put links to her stuff. She gets the documents before anybody and goes over them. And it's amazing. Like if you need caught up in what's going on, just go the Court of Random Opinion. Thank you so much. Let me put that up. So yeah, she's amazing. And she makes it very entertaining. You never thought legal documents could be so entertaining. All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining. And let me go back to make sure I thank everybody again. Darian and Emily and is it Shami? I'm sorry, Shami or Shami. Thank you so much. And one more, Jillian. Thank you guys so much, and for everybody for joining in and all of your comments. Sorry, if I look too much at the comments, I lose track of what I'm trying to say. And then I knew we had limited time because Lauren had to go for a work meeting. But anyway, again, thank you all so much for joining. And I'm working on part 2. It's not as juicy as this one. It's more like the how 47.1 came into existence and what it's meant for and all of that good stuff. But anyway, yeah, so this one, don't be scared by these amicus briefs. They're not they don't add anything to Blake's case. They're just simply there. These people consider themselves to be experts in this. It's a rule that's new. It's never been applied to a case. It's put there for the judge to use if he likes. He doesn't have to. It doesn't strengthen her case. It doesn't weaken her case. It doesn't really do anything except provides an expert's opinion. So yeah, Leanne, here we go. Oh, nope, that's not. Whenever it moves, I always miss it. They're nothing to the case. They truly are nothing to the case. So the headlines make it sound like, oh, this group's supporting Blake and that group's supporting Blake. And it means nothing. It really means nothing. So they're just offering their expertise on a specific subject. That's really all it is. The judge is buried in motions. We don't even know if he's going to read these things. He's not required to respond to them. He's not required to do anything with them. So yeah, so don't be discouraged by them at all and ignore the headlines, because I saw this Instagram. I want to show it on the live. I forgot the name of it. I've got it saved on my Instagram though, and I want to share it. But she shows the relationship that Ryan has with people who own a lot of these magazines. Because I was like, why do they get it so wrong? Even if they tell the truth in the story, it's buried deep in the story. And then the title, the headline, is very misleading. So that even like Daily Mail puts it out, even when it was like discovered that it was most likely Taylor's dad, all of these things come out, and then Blake's team jumps on and their stuff gets quoted. So that the truth of it is, like, you have to like really dig through, read the whole article and find it somewhere at the bottom. But the headline is crazy. You know, it sounds so pro Blake, but she found the relationships between Ryan Reynolds, and more important than Ryan Reynolds is Ryan Reynolds' business relationships that these people are connected to. So it's not just like their power, it's the power of the businesses that he's affiliated with. And these people have an interest in keeping him looking good, because they, and I talked about this in several of my episodes, but one in particular was called House of Cards. If you guys haven't seen that one, go back and watch that one. It's been like, I think it was last month, but it's it's House of Cards, and it shows how Ryan's real money and his real success came with the businesses that he invested in, starting with Mint Mobile and Aviation Gin. Sold those off, got hundreds of millions of dollars from those, and then started investing in other things. But just like with Mint Mobile and Aviation Gin, the whole point was that he was the spokesperson, so he got the attention. If you remove his reputation, then that appeal is gone. So these people have a vested interest in keeping his reputation looking good, because they need him to look good. They need that reputation so that these financial things stay good. So of course, if they, can change a headline to make him look better, they're going to do it. But I'll find that and put that up at some point. That, and also I mentioned something about his football team, soccer team, Wrexham. They call it football everywhere but here. But I found ESPN actually put an article out that I was so excited, because it verified something I said exactly about his team. So I want to put those things together in a little episode. Like I said at the beginning, those of you who didn't know, I have lupus, unfortunately, and most of the time I'm pretty good. But when I have a flare, and I've been kind of like battling one since my surgery, because that's a trigger. Also this time of year when the sun gets stronger again and I get a little exposure, even just in the car, I tend to, like this time every year, get, a bit of a flare, and it's just like no energy, no strength, and just like pain. So missed the whole like holiday weekend. I just had to rest up when I had really wanted to like attack a bunch of stuff, and I didn't get to. So, if you don't see me, I also got a lot of other obligations in life that I have to take care of too. So can't always be around like I want to, but I'm always trying to get something for you behind the scenes. And so I hope part 2, and then the other thing I just mentioned, I can get those out soon. Till then, this is Cassidy O'Connell saying stay well and stay tuned.